I don't know why I'm making this video. I low-key look like the dude that helps you at Best Buy, trying to help you with your electronics. Can I help you find anything today? You know why we're here. It's the replay series. It's XXX Tactical Nuke. We're here to look at the reception of XXXTentacion's 17 album. I know a lot of people ask me why I don't just do the replay to their most recent album, but sometimes I'll go and I'll look at the album I think received the most reception of all. Not one that's obviously just 100% bad and another that's obviously 100% good. Number one, let me start this video off with an apology. This was supposed to be about Travis Scott today. I was supposed to be uploading a replay video to Travis Scott and his Rodeo album. But I keep getting comments, I keep getting concerns and just massive criticism for my criticism of XXXTentacion's 17 album. So I wanted to address it in this video, and I also wanted to see the reception of 17 because I never actually looked at it. I just uploaded my opinion and just got off of it. So I'm really curious to see in what way 17 has affected people and how it's grown on people, if at all, since it came out back in August 2017. I'm expecting to see some dumb shit, but I'm also hoping for something that'll change my opinion of the 17 album, right? For those of you who don't know, 17 was an album, in my opinion, that was not X's best music. It wasn't his best project. X, just like on his Question Mark album on 17, proved to have inspirations from other genres, but at the same time trying to tote himself up above the rest of the rap game or anyone else because he's a genius or because this is something that if you're not accepting of him, then you just clearly don't understand what the music is about. And his fans give him that same excuse. I have no hate in my heart towards X, towards his fan base. I wish them all the best. But what I will say, the 17 album, despite its intentions, was poorly executed in my opinion. I'm gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna see what the reception of this album has been since August. Let's go. XXX Tactical, Tentacion. Let's go into the gallows and the trenches. Y'all ready to try hot new hip hop? Let's get it. SoundCloud sensation. Jesus, we're already starting off wrong. Rather that upbeat hype records that XXX has put over the few. What? Okay, wait. This is why I don't read. Is this written right or am I just really stupid? It's my first body of work, first official release, and the first time I put my all into a project. I mean it when I say this project is absolutely amazing. See, that's the disconnect for me. It's like making a pie and you saying it's the best when it's kind of obvious that you would like what you created. If you listen to me to get hype or to not think, don't buy this album. This one is for the depression. For the depressed ones, for the lost ones, for all the lost boys. Just started listening. That Jocelyn Forrest track is dope. This young kid gets too much hate. Let him do him and be different. I agree. I don't agree with hating on a guy just because he's doing his own thing. I don't mind XXX doing his own thing and putting it out for himself and doing whatever he wants to do. It's his fan base and himself that sometimes toed himself up on a higher level or put himself on this pedestal that I feel is just unrealistic for X in his career at this moment. I don't think he's done enough to say that his music is absolutely amazing or to say that he's doing something that's ingenious. And there is this mob mentality, especially with people over the internet who never leave the house, that automatically convict someone before they're convicted by a jury or a court or a judge or anything like that, as if their opinion is scripture on the personal life of an artist. I get keeping your opinion on music, but I've seen some people take some drastic measures and the dude hasn't even been convicted yet. Let him get convicted first if you think he's guilty. And I know there's recent footage of him out there doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff, but it's not in regards to this. It definitely doesn't help his case. I can tell you that. It doesn't make him look good, but some of you guys aren't used to the repercussions that come along with falsely accusing someone of something, putting information out there. You're not used to being held accountable for what you say because you get to say everything online through the internet. In what world does depressing, suicidal music help someone who's already depressed and suicidal? There is no light to this album. Who is it intended to help? I had similar criticism for the album. I didn't really believe that making an album about depression for depressed people would help them come out of that depression, but I get the feeling, the connection that you might have to someone who also has depressing thoughts and have depressing situations that they're going through. But I would assume or expect for that to keep someone in that rut rather than help bring them out of it. If I'm shrouded in depressing music and thoughts, wouldn't I just remain depressed? Why would that help me out of it? I mean, it helps to know that I'm not the only one, but I don't think it gets me out of that situation. The album is great, but his songwriting is his weakest area. This will please the fans for sure. I still don't like X, but dude has a lot of who gives a fuck if you don't like him? Who cares? I hate when people shut the fuck up. I hate when people sit here and they're like, oh, I don't like this guy, but like, who gives a fuck? Who is asking for your opinion of this dude personally? I don't give a fuck if you like him. I don't care. He doesn't care. Suck a dick. I don't care if you like him. Like, oh, I gotta put my, he's not in my book. Like, he's not popular to me. I don't like him, so just gotta put that out. Like, shut the fuck. The bitter virgin ass dudes won't ever stop being in denial and admit XXX got what is, there's a, what correlate, where's the correlation? You're a virgin because you don't like X? Huh? Even though I think that's a horrible comparison in any artist's music, I think that would be better suited to go along with someone like maybe Party Next Door, maybe The Weeknd, maybe an R&B singer, but not XXX Tactical Nuke. Wouldn't it make you less of a virgin for liking Drake and more of one for liking X? Yeah, this is still a really shitty album. Everyone's saying just give the kid a chance and it's really not that bad if you give it a listen. Are just trying way too hard to be fake deep. Shaking my head! You know, the term fake deep is getting out of hand, man. In what world does because someone says something that they wholeheartedly believe in, even if the shit isn't that deep, how does that make them fake deep? Like, that's you literally saying that this person made an attempt to say or do something to appear or present themselves in a way to whoever's listening to the music that would make them think this guy is deep. Now, I do think there are people out there like that, but to say that the reason they do it are for false intentions as opposed to them genuinely feeling that way and thinking that it hasn't been said before, I just think that makes them ignorant to the times that they're in. I think that makes them ignorant to the demographic that exists outside of just their fan base. But do I think XXXTentacion is fake deep? No. But do I think he thinks himself to be deeper than he really is? Yes, of course. But I don't think it's because he's fake doing it. I think he genuinely feels that way. My wife miscarried when she heard that. I fucking hate the internet. This dude has problems. No wonder kids these days are fucking weirdos. People were weirdos before X. They're gonna be weirdos after X. Nothing's changed. Jocelyn Flores' track is actually incredible. The sample is beautiful, he's spitting some real shit. It sucks that everyone's gonna prejudge him and before giving him a chance, basically. I agree. I like the inclusion of Shiloh Dynasty on 17. I do think that was missed from a lot of people who would listen to this album. I thought its inclusion on Jocelyn Flores was great. I thought Everybody Dies in Their Nightmares, or Everybody, what was it? I forgot the other name of the song. Look, as I said in the past, X is not my favorite artist. So while X isn't my favorite artist, I can understand why people enjoy certain songs of the album. Everybody Dies in Their Nightmares bangs too. Actually, every track does. You know what? I'm really tired of people saying this because I doubt people are going back to listen to that entire album. I mean, it's short enough to where you can listen to it while you're power walking in your neighborhood if you live around the corner from like a Walmart. But you trying to tell me that this shit bangs? Seriously? You listening to this shit every day? That's what you're telling me. Jocelyn Flores, just wow. Fantastic album. How does good single translate into good album? How does that, like, do you need one good song for the album to be good? I've been through depression and all the above, but I personally don't want to talk about it anymore. And to me, this just kind of refuels it for the kids, man. Go listen to some ASAP Mob and Uzi, guys. So your solution for people who are depressed is Lil Uzi, whose hit single is All My Friends Are Dead, Push Me to the Edge, or ASAP Mob, whose member ASAP Ferg, in his latest album, has decided to rap about Indian Burns being on his wee-wee. I think this dude's found the answer. If that doesn't cure your depression, nothing will. This dude got 15 thumbs down just for putting the flame emoji. What the fuck? Alright, that's enough of hot new hip-hop. I think we've seen enough opinions from there. Let's go on to another website. I really don't even want to see. I'm gonna just look at the score. I'm not gonna read the review. I just want to know what really. A whole, you know, I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not even gonna do it. Listen through the album and it's mostly just melodies and I enjoyed the project. It's what I expected. I knew X had a wide range from some of the other songs I heard. This is definitely for people who's experienced depression. This is a good project in my opinion. So I mean, this comment kind of solidifies everything that a lot of people have been saying, is that X is pretty much like a lo-fi artist. He's a guy that anybody could probably do the songs that he's making because he's kind of a melodic artist. He's an artist that relies more on the melody, or within his most recent projects have shown to be reliant on the melody more than anything else. Not gonna bother listening, LMAO, but you're in the thread. You're in the thread, but you're not gonna listen. You clicked on the album in the thread. You're not gonna listen. Wasn't gonna bother listening, but it's 20 minutes, LMAO. I'll skim through it to make sure it's not surprisingly What kind of hating ass shit is that? Let me make sure this shit's bad. What the fuck? For a dude who refuses to listen to the album, you really do live in these extra— Exactly! That's what I just said. Alright, I'm already off genius. Alright, we're now on a Kanye forum to look at XXXTentacion. And all I see is wannabe comedians. Okay, it's corny, who cares? Edgy teens eating. In 5 years, he's gonna look at this shit and think it's corny as shit. He probably won't. 14-year-olds will eat this up. The naked truth, hence the new photos. LMAO, cringe. It's just a bunch of people trying to be funny. Give an opinion of the music. I guess I'm not surprised that that's what forums have become. A place where people try to validate themselves online by making a joke or trying to be funny, I guess. Just talk about the music, man. Just give me your opinion. That's all I want. Now that we've left the wannabe comedians, let's find somewhere else to look at this. Let's go to my YouTube comments. For those of you who don't know, I put 17 on my worst albums list of 2017. And this video has received so much attention. Damn, nice almost dick shot there. What? I didn't like my own video? What's going on? Like? Gotta validate my own existence? Did this guy just put 17 in the thumbnail? I also put it in the video. Like in the actual video. I agree with 88% of this. Jesus, you've got math down to a science. Wait, math is science. Forget it. But I gotta disagree with 17. I mean, you don't have to. How can he even hate on 17? You can switch that word to dislike. 17 was good as fuck. What you mean? You got bad taste, fam. I love when people say this because I can literally just repeat what they said to me and say that they have bad taste for liking it. You see how that is like a never-ending cycle? It goes nowhere. 17 sounds like an edgy 17-year-old because it's about X when he was 17. At that age, he was very suicidal and depressed. It seems like he still is. The songs are short because we are literally entering his thoughts. He really convinced people of this. He said he hopes it cures or numbs your depression listening to this album. Not that it's relatable. If he made the album, if he said, what the fuck? If he said that he made the album for depressed people, why would he expect, or why would you expect for those same people not to relate to the subject matter within the album? Especially if he says he hopes it cures or numbs that depression. You need to be able to relate to it for it to cure you. What do you mean? That's like giving chemotherapy to a dude that's got the common cold and expecting that to do something good for him. If you don't have it, then it's not gonna do shit for you. It has to be relatable. Really bad criticism on XXXTentacion 17, but it's your opinion, so, well, I mean, it's my opinion that you chose a really shitty person to use as your Avi on YouTube, but hey, that's your opinion, so. That was pretty passive aggressive. I'm sorry. I apologize. I think one of the points he also missed is that this album popularized the lo-fi hip-hop sound a lot with songs like Jocelyn Flores, Carry On, and Everybody Dies in Their Nightmare. Lo-fi hip-hop's been around for years. 17 was not bad. Did you not understand the purpose? Let me give you this. Execution and intention are not equivalent. They do not mean or equate to the same thing, okay? You intended for one thing, you executed a different way. We all know that. 17 obviously wasn't for you because it deals with depression, love, heartbreaks, and anxiety. He made this album to make Y'all gotta stop with these typos. He made this album to make people with these problems feel like they are not alone. You obviously don't understand why this album was made. And see, then it goes from XXXTentacion making this album for depressed people to some of those people who claim to have depression saying that, oh, you clearly have never experienced this thing because you don't like it. If you experienced it, you'd have to like it by default. No, it's just my depression lies in things bigger than heartbreak, anxiety, and a love interest. I'm sorry. Let me apologize to the XXXTentacion fan base. This is not me coming down on X, and this is not me coming down on his fan base, but I'm about to make a comparison right now. And keep this in mind. This is what I'm about to say means nothing, right? This is what depression comes down to based off my subjectivity and my experience with feeling like the world's about to crush you and feeling like everything's coming down on you at once. You know, it's not just anxiety, right? My definition and my version of depression is not being able to pay your phone bill, or not being able to talk to your girlfriend for a couple of days, or breaking up with someone you dated for maybe a year, or people just not understanding me. My definitions of fear, anxiety, and depression are limited to my experiences, and my experiences with those emotions, with those feelings, stem from me being younger and me going home and, you know, hoping that everyone got there safely. If I got home and everybody was at home and in bed and safe, then it was a good day for me. My anxiety when I was little came from going to school every day and not knowing if the friend that I had from yesterday was going to show up, because he might have been killed. He might have been involved in something that he wasn't supposed to be involved in. Me calling or texting one of my friends and them not picking up within like an hour or two when they would normally text me back in like 5 minutes, and not knowing what happened to them. Because in the area that I'm from, if people don't keep in regular contact with folks, 9 times out of 10 is because they got killed. Now, I'm not saying I lived in Syria or something like that, but I didn't live in the greatest area when I was like growing up. When I was really little, like probably up until about 10 years old maybe, it was some bullshit that was going on. And I've told people this before, what you are around doesn't necessarily have to be what you become. My anxiety would come from being 2 blocks from my house and not running into a gang, being asked who I'm affiliated with, getting home and just praying that when my family got in the driveway, nobody got robbed or stuck up just for coming into the fucking house. Praying and making sure that none of my family was addicted to drugs or drinking. People ask me why I don't drink or smoke now. It's because I've had some bad experiences with it. Not personally, but watching people kill themselves with it. As I grew older at 15, 16, and 17, when I started to really understand shit, and grown men who, you know, were in the street were no longer giving you passes because you were young, you were close to being an adult right now, and you really had to be accountable for everything that you did. That's when real life started to hit, and I was like, all right, I need to make sure I'm good. You start carrying when you don't have to. You become a little bit paranoid. You start covering your bases on shit that has nothing to do with what you would need to cover your bases for. And depression of certain friends dying really, really young and not being able to make it to the age that I'm at right now. Depression of not accomplishing certain things at certain points while certain people were alive so that they can see you meet those goals. Internalizing the issues of people around you. All of that ties into it, okay? And it tied into it for me. Having to validate your credibility in a certain lifestyle when you were young, it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. Like, nobody likes doing it. So saying that I can't understand anything that's happening in this album, you don't even know. Some of the people who are saying, oh man, this is for this is for that, have never even experienced the lifestyle that X himself has explained on his No Jumper interview. I remember him saying that he stabbed his stepfather, was just him and his mom. He had a crazy upbringing. He was depressed, a little bit suicidal. I get it. I understand. You got to do what you got to do. That's why I never judged X when he told that story, because I'm like, I get it. I understand why you have to do what you got to do. You got to survive, and you got to protect your own. You got to protect what's important to you. I get it. But that's not what he described on 17. For the type of depression that he addressed, it didn't manifest into anything more than that because of the way he talked about it. There are levels to depression, just like there are levels to anxiety. There's levels to heartbreak and all that. But the way in which you describe these things can really make or break who it does and does not relate to. And the way he described depression and the way it kind of affected him on this project was barely scratching the surface. And half of the people who are defending the album, not only can they not relate to the situation that X has been through, but are just internalizing the emotions that he's describing through the music and making it seem like to themselves that they've always had this thing when they may not have. You know, and that's not for everyone out there. This album may have helped some people who are depressed. It may have brought them out of a rut. It may have made them feel like enlightened now that one of their idols has made music in relation to something that they've been through. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, from the type of depression that X is describing on this project, he barely scratches the surface of it. That's what I'm saying. What X is describing is not depression. X is describing tragic events. X is describing situations that give people stress. The reason I said before in my review for Puya's 5-5 album that I felt it was organic for him to describe his depression is because his depression was implied. His depression was hinted at. It wasn't directly stated. It wasn't brought up intentionally, forced in any of the music. It seemed naturally connected to him by the way he described it in the music. It didn't seem like a conscious effort to make sad music. Some of the lyrics that he presented were just sad, and that led me to believing that this dude does at times have depressing thoughts and depressing moments because he's not forcing it in his album. Depression isn't something that you should force. It's something that you just are. And making a conscious effort to make an album that is depressing to relate to an audience that may or may not be depressed, that you know are going to internalize what you feel and what you're saying, doesn't do anything, in my opinion, except give you an excuse to come out with whatever you want to come out with and call it whatever you want to call it. And I know that this isn't X's first rodeo with depressing music. This isn't his first time making music that has been felt or interpreted in this way. But in my opinion, this is one of the few times and from the few artists that I feel genuinely tried to make their music sound sad, as opposed to it just organically being that way. I get it. I know why you guys like it. I know why X is popular. I know why this album got popular, but it has nothing to do with people not being able to relate because they dislike it. It's got everything to do with them having much harsher realities about the type of depression that he's describing. It's got everything to do with that. The album barely scratches the surface of this type of depression. That's why I said execution and intention are not equal. You're giving him accolades for what he tried to do as opposed to what it actually was. And I know people are gonna say, you know, oh, Kendrick Lamar liked it, a couple other artists liked it. Look, Kendrick Lamar's opinion holds no more weight than the next guy to me. So I could disagree with Kendrick Lamar just like I could disagree with somebody in a forum. It does not matter who it is. If I don't agree with their opinion, I don't agree with their opinion. I don't care if it's Kendrick Lamar. Hopefully this is the last video I make on this dude until he releases some more music. If you have to explain what your album is going to be about, clearly you cannot allow the music to explain itself. Music that is great, music that is awesome doesn't have to be explained. Something that's great, you don't need a defense team to describe why it's great. You know why it's great. It sounds great. It is great. You don't have to tell people why. Creator of that art doesn't have to explain to people why it's great. Just let them see it. That's it. But that's me. My opinion of the XXXTentacion album has not changed. It's strengthened a little bit. So let me know what your comments have been, or no, comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what your thoughts on it are. And yeah, that's gonna be it. It's been C, Shawn of the C. And I'll see you next time, and I'm out. Peace.